What's up, friends? Welcome to another special Week 15 game preview episode of Tables, Tailgates, and Top Loaders. So happy to have you all aboard for this episode. I am your host, as always, TB. Thank you so very much for stopping in and checking out this game preview. So we have a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. Week 15, Bills at Patriots, Sunday, December 14th, 1 p.m. from Gillette Stadium in none other than Foxborough, Massachusetts. So I always start off with some news and notes. And the first thing I always go to is the power rankings. So they are out after 14 long NFL weeks. A little movement with the Buffalo Bills. I did find Sports Illustrated. They have the Bills all the way up to the number 3 spot on the power rankings. That's pretty good. Pretty good if you think about how inconsistent, how up and down. Talked about it. I've used the word roller coaster before. How much of a roller coaster ride this team has kind of been on and displayed over the last month. On the low end of the power rankings through other publications, I've seen the Bills as low as 10. So your spread goes from as high as 3 to as low as 10. That's kind of a big spread. 7 spots. It feels like this team is all over the map as far as how people view them. But the Bills' opponent for the week, the New England Patriots, I have seen them in multiple publications as high as the number 1 spot. So where are they on the back end? I have seen them no lower than 5th. So their range 1 to 5. How we feel about that? It's clear if you put these two teams together, we have a marquee matchup on the books for this week. Now, if the Bills manage to beat the Patriots, which we will see how I predict this game here in a few minutes, but if they do, it seems to kind of run with the course of this that they're going to continue to climb up the rankings. So what else we got? Bills are currently sitting at the 6th spot in the AFC standings after their victory over the Cincinnati Bengals last Sunday afternoon, 39-34. That was a crazy game. It looked like an awesome spectacle to be at, awesome game to be at. Prior to the Monday night game, I think it was the Chargers and Eagles. They had climbed as high as 5, but with the Chargers beating the Eagles, the Chargers managed to take over that 5 spot and drop the Bills back down to 6th. Now, unfortunately, the Bills are still 2 games behind the New England Patriots in the AFC East, and of this very minute, the Patriots own the tiebreaker because they beat the Bills in Week 5. The Bills will need to beat them Sunday, and then the Patriots have to lose at least one more to even have a shot at the East title. Now, behind the Bills in 7th and 8th are the Colts and the Texans. The Colts are a flat-out mess right now, and the Texans are on the move after winning 5 straight. The Colts, kind of full panic mode if you're following this crazy story after losing Daniel Jones to a season-ending Achilles injury. Fear not, Colts fans. If you want to go down that road, fear not, the cavalry is coming. 96-year-old Phillip Rivers, just kidding, he's actually 44. So 44-year-old Phillip Rivers has been signed to the practice squad, and he's back ready to save your season after retiring a mere 5 years ago. This cat has been coaching high school football for the last 5 years. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy stories about this. Is it true? I can't seem to figure out if this is true, but the same offense, or the offense he's running with his high school team, is the same offense that the Colts run. So what could possibly go wrong, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, he couldn't really move at the end of his career anyway, and now he's coming in to potentially start for the Colts, who are on their 4th string quarterback at this point. I don't know. It's a crazy story. The NFL loves crazy stories, so we shall see what happens. But behind the Colts, behind the Texans, laying in the weeds, we have a 3-way tie with the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, and don't look now, but here come the streaking Tua Tagovailoa-led Miami Dolphins. All 3 of these teams, Baltimore, KC, Miami, they're all sitting at 6 and 7. What else we got? For the 3rd time in 2025, and for the 18th time in his complete career, quarterback Josh Allen was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week. If you look back on the year, he won it in Week 1 against Baltimore, that crazy game, and he also won it in Week 11 when it was the guns blazing shootout against Tampa Bay. In Week 14 against the Bengals, so last Sunday afternoon in Orchard Park, Allen completed 78% of his passes. He threw for 251 and 3 tutties. He was also the 2nd leading rusher on the team, and he had, 9 rushes for almost 80 yards and another tutty on the ground. So that was quite the game. So obviously it led to his offensive player of the week for the AFC. Is it fair to say that he's making a late season push to go back to back with the MVP? I'm not sure if he's quite up there in the race yet, but there's 4 weeks to go. He's got a lot of ground to make up, but if he puts together a 4-week straight, or at this point 5-week straight series of games where he's just balling out, he's full Superman mode, does he have a chance? It would not shock me at all if he bounces right back to the top of the MVP race. And what else do I want to talk about? I saw this. I don't know if y'all saw this, Mafia. This is kind of cool. It depends how you look at it. But Bud Light has announced a limited edition Blizzard brew that's made from, check this out, it's actually being made from the snow from Highmark Stadium. So I thought this is quite interesting. If you've seen this commercial, it's kind of cool. So if you go onto the Buffalo Bills website, there's a little story about it. It says, following the first snowfall at Highmark Stadium earlier this season, Bud Light and the Bills have joined forces to collect the snow and transport it to Anheuser-Busch's brewery in Baldwinsville, New York. The snow will be integrated in a brewing process to create a limited edition brew that will be included in custom 16-ounce cans and packaging. This Blizzard brew will be available at participating retailers in the Buffalo area and wherever Bills Mafia enjoys the final regular season home game. So it's coming your way in a few short weeks, and that's kind of cool. I mean, it's Bud Light, so I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I still think it's kind of cool. It already tastes like water, so you're not going to get too much beer flavor. But hey, that's a pretty cool idea. Blizzard brew using snow from Highmark Stadium. How are we feeling about that? Anyway, next segment, we always dive into the injuries. So let's start with the Buffalo Bills side of the field. Defensive end Joey Bosa, he missed last game against the Bengals with the hamstring. It seems he is in limited mode all week with the practices, and there's a good chance he can return for this game. The pass rush, we have little to no pass rush without Joey Bosa on the field. So one thing Drake May does is take sacks. So we have got to get a pass rush on him, and we need to pick up the pace. Our defensive line is kind of a mess right now. Gregory Rousseau is not really playing too great. So we are definitely missing Joey Bosa. But at the same time, I need him ready to rock and roll for the playoff stretch. So we shall see what happens. Who else we got? Linebacker Terrell Bernard. He is still dealing with his forearm, elbow. He is also limited. He's been practicing a little bit, but on a limited basis. In my opinion, if he's still on the fence, I think he should not play because Shaq Thompson has been great. I think he's played great. I talked about this, a week ago on the pod. I think he has kind of solidified the middle of the defense. And so I know they gave up a ton of early points to the Bengals, but I think Shaq has played really well, and I think we're good there. So Terrell, you rest up. Whatever ailments you got, let's just chill and get 100% before you get back out there. Spencer Brown. Now, Spencer Brown, on the other hand, I think if he's good to go, he needs to be out there. I don't want to re-aggravate this shoulder thing, but he's also been limited at practice. I'm surprised that he's kind of already there because they were considering putting him on the IR, which is a minimum of 4 weeks. But this is a good sign. This is a good sign moving forward, and I hope that he's ready to go. Ryan Vandermark was playing or has been playing in his absence, and yeah, while I think he's fine in a pinch, I don't know if he is a solid long-term answer moving forward. Cole Bishop, he came out in the Bengals game. He had some cramps, but he's good to go. Josh Palmer, he's been limited, but it looks like he's moving in the right direction, and he has a chance to play on Sunday. Now, if you've seen this, I know Ed Oliver, he obviously has had surgery for his torn bicep, but he is blasting out these TikTok videos of him like training and running, and he put one out recently with him doing push-ups, and he's crushing out the push-ups. So I think he's a lot closer than we originally expected, but I think they're still going to hold him out for the regular season. They don't want to risk re-aggravating or re-injuring that arm. So I think he is definitely going to be ready for the playoff run, which is awesome. Injuries on the Patriots side of the field. Left tackle Will Campbell, he was placed on IR a week or so ago. This is a huge issue for their offensive line. He is essentially the blindside protector of Drake May, and he has kind of been a key to the success of the offensive line. They've been struggling. They've been struggling on both sides of the ball as far as their offensive and defensive lines are concerned. And then also Jared Wilson. He did return to practice. he is their center. He did return to practice. He's inching closer to return. This could be a significant boost to help them. Like I said, their line has been kind of a mess right now, and we shall see what happens. And the other one of note that I think is important is Brendan Schuler. He is like their kind of jack of all trades on special teams, kind of a key, huge addition to their special teams unit. So it looks like he also returned to practice. He could be a good to go for Sunday. Themes, storylines heading into this game. I talked about it before, but I know the Bills can't get back into first place with a win. But I think this game is huge in the aspect of we need to change the narrative that the Patriots are the kings of this division. Whatever you want to call them, I just think like winning this game, I don't want to go as far as to say that the Patriots have been frauds this year. Look, they beat Buffalo week 5. But if you really go back and you look at that week 5 game, the final score was 23-20. 23-20. The Bills had 3 turnovers, and these just weren't regular turnovers. These were like super costly. We've driven a good chunk of the field, game-changing turnovers. So 3 terrible turnovers. And also, if you remember in this game, the amount of penalties that we had in this game, it was ridiculous. There's a crazy amount of penalties. I think we had like 70 or 80, maybe 90 yards in penalties in that first game. And all that being said, we still only lost on a last-second field goal. So I think we need to change the narrative that the Patriots are just awesome. And like, yes, I will give them their due. They have won a ton of games, and congratulations. But they have played a third place schedule against some terrible teams. Now, granted, the Bills have lost to some bad teams, but I don't know. I don't want to oversimplify this, but I just feel like we've crowned the Patriots already, and I'm just not ready to say that they're the cream of the crop as far as the AFC East is concerned. I want to see the Bills go kind of knock them back down a peg or two. What else? The Patriots are going to be pretty fresh, pretty rested coming out of their bye week. If you look at the totality of the season, I think a week 14 bye week is about as good as you could ask for. You can't land a better bye week in the season. It's perfect, especially for a team looking to make a playoff run. You come back week 15, you play 4 games, and then they're sitting in line for a potential number 1 seed and a first round bye. I don't want to see that happen. That would be awful. So even more important to get in there and get this dub. As I said, I think this is probably the perfect time to go up there to Foxborough and punch them square in the mouth. X factors. Let's move on to the X factors. Kind of talked about this already. Generating a pass rush. It's been non-existent. And I think Bose is the key, and if he's out, I think we're going to struggle again. Epinesa, Rousseau, they need to kind of play with a lot more consistency. Drake May, like I said, he has a tendency to take sacks. They're not the worst sacks. It's not like he takes an 18-yard sack, and after he runs around for 10 seconds, yeah, I see you, Josh Allen. But he takes 1-2-yard sacks, 1-2-yard losses on each sack, which is not crazy, but he does have a tendency to hold the ball a little too long. But if you get no pressure on him, he's going to sit back there and pick you apart. So we got to somehow manage to affect his vision, affect his lanes, and just kind of get after him. So we don't have the home field advantage on our side this time, so it's even more important to generate a pass rush from our front 4. What else? Keep Dalton Kincaid healthy. That's an X factor I have. Look, if you have seen the team and the offense when he's on the field and when he's actually playing versus when he is out or hurt, it's just like night and day. So it's a completely different offense when he is on the field and when he's healthy. He makes the other tight ends better. I mean, last week it was like tight end university. I thought I was watching Miami football from the late, I don't know, what was it? The 90s or something. It was insane. So they all crushed it. Dawson Knox had a career game. Jackson Hawes caught a tutty. It was great. This is a huge group, a very solid, stable group, but it is so much better when Dalton Kincaid is healthy and when he is on the field. Another X factor, turnovers. Come on, guys. Come on. For the love of God, you got to clean up some of these turnovers. It's one thing if you give up these kind of crazy interceptions. Maybe you throw a 60-yard bomb and whatever, or a tip pass or something, but the ridiculous fumbles, James Cook, you can't be making these fumbles. You can't. Don't kick the ball out of your own hands. Don't throw stupid picks. Just play smart. I know it's so easy to just get into the team that commits the fewest turnovers wins the game, but I just talked about this. Look at week 5. 3 turnovers, a ton of penalties. They played sloppy. They didn't play well, and they only lost by 3. So if you clean all that up, you go into Foxborough, you don't commit any turnovers, and you punch them in the mouth, I don't know. Something tells me this has the potential to kind of be a Bills blowout. I just think we need to play clean and we need to play smart. What else? The run game. The run game, if you look statistically at the beginning of the season, the Patriots were locked in. They were holding opposing rushing teams to like 50, 60 yards a game. Well, that has changed dramatically over the last 4 to 5 weeks. I know one of their key defensive linemen got hurt, and now they're just like, it's like running through cellophane. So I see this being a James Cook runs wild game, which leads me back to my last point of don't fumble the freaking ball. I think if we lean on the run game and then develop the play action off of that, I think we can score points. And Drake May has never been in a shootout. So I, for one, would love to see the Bills just put the pedal to the floor, unleash the Ferrari, get James Cook going early and often, get the play action going, and just go bombs away, because I would love to see if Drake May can keep up. I would love to see if they can keep up. Another point, aggressiveness. I like what Coach McD has been doing as far as being aggressive. He went after it. I know they went for it on 4th down 4 times last week, and I think they were 3 of 4 for 4th down. Don't lose sight of that aggressiveness. Get back to this idea that week after week, we should be trying to stomp on the opponent's throat. I just want to see that. I love the mentality we carried into the Kansas City game and the Pittsburgh game, where we just went and it was a beatdown for 60 minutes. Aggressive, go after it, play with roughness, play with like this dog mentality. That's what I want to see as we take this team up into Foxborough. I really think that if we had played clean and we didn't make our own mistakes, that week 5, I don't think the Patriots would be in first place right now. So let's try to bring them a little closer to the rest of the pack, and but keep that aggression and just put the hammer down. Defense. Bobby Babbage. I don't know. Is it you? Is it Sean McDermott? Who the heck is calling the plays in the last few weeks? I don't know, but regardless of who is calling the plays and who's running the defense, can we please have the guys ready to go for the first half of the game? What is going on? I understand that there's this huge thing that, we're a second half team and we're making all these adjustments. Yeah, but why is there such a need to make such drastic adjustments? The Bengals went out and scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3 times they had the ball. We couldn't stop anything. Can we please be ready to go at the opening kickoff of the game? Please? I mean, these brutal first halves cannot keep happening. They can't. It's just shocking how much better this team is in the second half, and it really should not ever be that drastic of a contrast. It's just crazy to me. So let's maybe tighten it up a little bit, maybe try to get a stop or 2 before halftime. And last week, y'all tackled way better than you had the previous month, so let's keep that positivity going. All right, it's time for Stress Meter. I do this every game preview. I don't know what's going on with this game, but I will just come right out with it. I am not stressed, folks. I am not stressed. Mafia, I don't know how you all feel about this. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm in a holiday festive mood. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not stressed. I know we're on the road. I know the Patriots are in first place. I know Drake May is way ahead of the schedule with how good he was supposed to be, and at this point in his career, but I don't know. I am not buying it. I'm just not buying it. Maybe I am completely delusional. I'm not scared of this team whatsoever. The one concern I have, I should have talked about this as an X factor, but Stephon Diggs had a huge game against us, and historically he lines up in the slot for the Patriots, and we have nobody. Christian Benford, Trey White, who's going to guard him? Christian Benford doesn't play in the slot. So are we going to put Taron Johnson like that? That's the one defensive nightmare that I'm kind of looking at Bobby going, hey, I don't know what we got to do, what we got to scheme. Are we putting Hairston on him? What are we doing? We got to have a better plan. Hairston wasn't there for week 5. We got a lot. I think our defensive look is drastically different from where we were 10 weeks ago. And so we shall see how they handle Stephon Diggs. But they got that big booty on the outside, or Boutte, or however the heck you want to pronounce his name. I think Christian Benford is playing amazing in the last few weeks, and I think he kind of takes Boutte right out. So now the X factor is going to be Stephon Diggs. But anyway, getting back to my stress meter. Like I said, maybe I'm completely delusional, but I'm not scared of this team. I was way more worried about Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins than I am about Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Boutte. I'm sure once this game kicks off, once it's here, I'll be trying to reach through the TV and maybe punch Coach Vrabel's face, because at last game I got so mad because he was literally arguing with the refs on every single play, and it was just so annoying. So maybe the stress will kick in at 1:05 p.m. on Sunday, but for right now I got to go with a 3. It's a 3. The one caveat to this whole stress meter is the meter has proven to be broken numerous times during the season already, and I don't know what to think about it. So it's prediction time. Here we go. The Bills are favored by 1.5 points, if you could believe that. Bills are favored by 1.5 points on the road in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, this Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. In my opinion, this kind of should be a 4 o'clock game. This should be the marquee game of this weekend. Hey, I'm not the NFL. I don't make the schedule. I don't flex teams. Looking back, I think the NFL was probably a little upset that they moved that Bills-Bengals game out of the 4 o'clock slot, because that was a banger of a game, and it would have drew big ratings. Nevertheless, for this upcoming Sunday in Foxborough, the forecast is looking to be right around 30 degrees. They are expecting some snow in the morning, but it looks to be tapering off by kickoff. But maybe, we're still a few days out. Maybe this could shift a little. Maybe you could see a few flakes. I don't think it's going to be a major factor. It's just going to be kind of cold. Hey, it's the middle of December, and we're going to Massachusetts, so what do you expect? It's not going to be Miami. The Bills will be rocking the white jersey, the blue pants, and a white helmet as the visiting team. So what is my call? As I said, I'm not stressed about this game, and I think this carries over into my prediction. I think the Bills come into this game with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, if you will. I think they're kind of pissed off after losing the first matchup, and I think they're also kind of mad that they're staring up at the Patriots in the standings. So I think they march into Gillette. I think they smack the Patriots square in the mouth. I think the Bills will win this game 31-20. I have the Bills moving on to 10-4 before heading out to good old Cleveland and a matchup with Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning into the 3Ts. Thanks for checking out this week's game preview. Enjoy the game on Sunday, and as always, go Bills. So until next time, whether it's ripping packs, breaking tables, or dropping elbows, keep doing what you love. And as always, go Bills.